Hello everyone, and welcome to my informative speech. My name is Alex Paiva, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the ketogenic diet. So, a ketogenic diet is basically one of the newest, I guess, diet fads you would say is going on right now. So, before I talk about more about the different foods you can eat, the different types of regimens you can do, I'm going to talk about the history. So, the ketogenic diet became popular in the 1920s and 30s as a form of treatment for epilepsy. And before the ketogenic diet was used, they used potassium bromide, but it resulted in slower mental capabilities in the patients. So physician named Hugh Conklin ordered patients to fast and improves the same results as a treatment without the slower mental capabilities. Then in 1921, a physician named Russell Wilder from Mayo Clinic called the treatment the ketogenic diet after tweaking to have the patients consume higher levels of water so that they stay hydrated throughout the process. So, and then by 1938, the treatment for epilepsy then shifted to anti-epileptic drugs, resulting in the keto diet to be pushed to the wayside. So, what is ketosis and what does it mean? So first, before I go into what ketosis actually is, I'm going to go over some basic terms to understand how the human body works and uses certain chemicals to produce energy. So over time, the human body has adapted to rely on getting energy from a diet high in carbohydrates such as breads and grains. But our ancestors, and when I say ancestors, I mean hunter and gatherer times, did not always have access to the vast amounts of high carbohydrate foods that we have today. So when someone consumes foods that are high in carbohydrates, the body will produce glucose and insulin. So glucose is the easiest molecule for the body to break down to use as energy, while insulin is produced to process the glucose throughout your bloodstream and take it all over your body to use as fuel. So now, a state of ketosis is when the body does not have enough glucose for energy and it starts to burn the stored fat cells for energy instead. And this results in a buildup of acids called ketones within the body. So acetoacetate is the most common type of ketone that will produce when the body is in a state of ketosis. And it's created for the breakdown of fatty acids and converted energy. So the ketogenic diet really does mimic the way our ancestors ate because they didn't have really access to be snacking all the time and consuming these large, I guess, filler foods, and they often sought out high nutrient dense foods in order to have for energy. And when they didn't have the food available, they relied on ketones for energy when food was not available. So now I'm going on with the pros and cons. So a lot of people are skeptical with certain new diets, so I'm gonna go over the cons first. So first of all, it's a very restrictive way of eating, and when you're going through the transition to the keto diet, your body has to deal with the lack of glucose and an increase in fats, and this will often result in something called the keto flu, which is when your body is going through that transition of depleting all the remaining glucose in your body and starting to use fats to burn for energy, and you will often how you say you will often experience certain headaches and nausea just because your body's going through that transition. And people are often skeptical because they hear of a thing called ketoacidosis, which doesn't really attribute to someone who's going through the keto diet. It's more towards people who are type 1 diabetics. So now I'll go over some pros. So pros are that it rapidly promotes fat loss at a very quick rate, especially early on and in especially larger individuals. Reduces your insulin levels and reduces your fat storage and increases your thermogenesis, which is basically means the amount of calories you burn on a daily basis. And it also allows you to normalize and control your hunger. And I'll talk a little bit more about that too. So, starting a ketogenic diet, you first off you want to begin to restrict your carbohydrate intake. You want to restrict your protein and increase your fat intake. You want to drink plenty of water. You want to incorporate intermittent fasting, which is how I was saying how you will control your hunger. With intermittent fasting, you will basically fast for 16 hours a day and eat for that 8 hour period. So that's 24 hours in total. And but of those 16 hours, 8 hours that you are, of course, are sleeping, and the next 8 hours you will be curbing your hunger with things like caffeine and water, and you'll be taking on that breakfast portion, which people typically think that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but in fact you don't really need to have that large amount of calories in the morning. And also for starting the keto diet, you want to incorporate exercise as well. So how do you know when you're in this state? Some indicators you have, well, you have a dry mouth, your breath will begin to change, your breath will begin to change, your hunger will definitely reduce, as well as you increase your energy, and you will have that diuretic effect, which basically means you'll be going to the bathroom a lot more frequently. And tests can also be done with urine or blood tests. So certain foods to eat and avoid. Definitely different meats such as fish, eggs, and beef. Fish is very important, especially salmon with that fish oil. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, lettuce. Above ground vegetables such as broccoli, cucumber, celery. High dairy foods such as creams, milks, and lots of cheeses. Nuts and seeds such as macadamia nuts, almonds. Almonds also has that oil, and you can also get almond flour from that too. Sweeteners such as stevia and different oils, coconut oil, avocado oil. Foods to definitely avoid. You want to avoid your grains, breads, pastas, sugar, refined sugars, fruits, bananas, apples, especially bananas. People think that you need that potassium, but you can get that from different supplements and the different foods that you eat. And tubers. When I say tubers, I mean starches, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all those filler foods. So now I'm talking about some common myths of the ketogenic diet. So myth number one, the brain requires glucose to function. So in fact, the brain does require glucose to function, but only 30 to 50 grams per day. And your body can actually synthesize it from dietary protein through a process called gluconeogenesis. The second myth is the keto diet is incomplete. Yes, this is true if the way you structure your diet is to process fatty meats and unhealthy junk foods in which you get your oils from. But if you're consuming quality cuts of meat such as with natural fats and leafy green vegetables, you will definitely get all your dietary vitamins and nutrients your body needs. And you can there's actually websites and calculators and breakdowns you can input all the foods that you're eating throughout your day. It'll tell you what certain vitamins that you are lacking or that you're overcompensating for. Myth number three. The large consumption of fats can lead to increased cholesterol and heart disease and clogged arteries and whatnot. So several studies conducted in which patients were put on a low-carb diet such as ketogenic diet and experienced beneficial results along with weight loss. And with that weight loss, you have that decreased chance of heart disease and your cholesterol being lower and your clogged arteries. So in participants actually experienced no even risk to their cardiovascular health. So myth number four, low carb diets cause muscle wasting, which is, typical with bodybuilders think that they'll waste the energy you put in the gym and with this low carb diet because they don't have that extra boost of energy. So it's actually better at preserving and increasing lean muscle mass throughout the process. And myth number five, especially in men, especially in men and women that typically go to the gym a lot, that physical performance will decrease with a keto diet. So studies conducted on professional cyclists in which for 4 weeks they were still performing at their higher levels and all their muscle mass and aerobic endurances remained unchanged throughout the process. So the only performance loss is in explosive workouts. It can be counteracted with the supplements such as pre-workout, and throughout my journey with this diet, I've been going up maybe 2 to 3 months at a time. I still haven't hit that full-blown level yet, that you can take pre-workout, fatty amino acids, and carving up what you consume 50 grams of carbohydrates before your workout and which you can use for energy. So in conclusion, before beginner keto diet, definitely consult your physician, and the keto diet is not for everyone, especially if someone who's particularly picky with foods. But the great thing about it is that it produces great results very early on and at a very quick rate. So thank you.